Uh-oh. What is Muki having a party over there? What is going on, everybody? And welcome to the It's Not the Personal, Just Bills host. I am your host, JTM, and I got my two guests with me today in the locker room as normal. Former NFL running back, James Mallory, Buffalo legend.
What's up, everybody?
Bills beat reporter Muki Hawkins, who said if we did not win this game this last week, that the Bills season, we would not make the playoff. We're going to see if he still stands by that. Mook, what's going on, man?
What's up? I'm still here trying to, get some inside stuff on what the hell happened Sunday.
And what the hell happened is right, because whatever happened in the first 30 minutes changed up, and I would say probably the last 15 minutes, right? Crazy game. Buffalo had a great comeback attempt. Didn't finish the job, though. So we got to talk about it, because at the end of the day, man, I think that all three of us on this panel on a similar side, that I understand there was no calls, and we're going to talk about those too, because there were definitely some missed calls, blown calls. But as they say, when you're growing up from Little League, don't put the game in the ref's hands. Come out there and get the W, and you don't have to worry about it. But end of the day, these referees get paid over six figures a year. They want to be full-time, and they cannot blow games like they did this one, because there were some egregious calls. But what you do, James, what did you think about the game? First 30 minutes, second part of the game where the Bills made the comeback. What was good? What was bad? What was ugly? What needs to change?
Man, we let one get away. We can't start slow. I didn't like the fact, obviously, we didn't run the ball at all in the first half. I mean, that's crazy. And I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I've been saying it the whole season. It's clear that Dable doesn't like small running backs. I just think it's a thing where there's some OCs that just like bigger running backs, and he has to be one of those guys, because I just don't know the reason for not using Devin Singletary. It makes no sense. I don't get it. I mean, he's produced with a line who is not blocking great. I mean, I think people are a little bit harder on the line than what they deserve. Not saying they're playing great, but people are a little bit harder on them what they deserve. Not playing great, but that dude is producing behind a line that's kind of underperforming right now. So that kind of hurts. But I look at it as a good thing. I think last year's team would have not folded. I don't want to use that word. Last year's team would have took the whooping and regrouped and came back and bounced back next week. They would have like, okay, we taking our L this week. We're going to bounce back stronger. This team said, hell no, we fighting and we coming back. We finding a way. I really like that about it a lot. So, and then also last thing, I'm sick of some fans asking and screaming for more Matt Breida. I like Matt Breida. There is a role for him, but that miss block he had on that linebacker, I don't care if it's supposed to be a fake, whatever, people made excuses for him. That was putrid. As a running back, you got to make that block. Your first in the pass pro, your job is to protect the quarterback. You're an extension of offensive line. You're just like an offensive lineman. You're responsible for somebody. You're in that pass pro. Handle it. Point blank, period. Handle that. There's no excuse for him missing that block. None. And that's why dudes like that, you don't last long in the NFL. You're gonna get somebody hurt that way. It's bull. The defense, I think the defense plays solid all the way around all game. I mean, they have so many weapons out there, man. It's hard to just stop that team. It's just not realistic. So I love the guts that this team showed. I think this team is going to make a deep run. And honestly, the way this team is built, it's probably better we don't have a home playoff game. Go on the road with better weather or go into a dome. This team isn't built for the cold weather. That's just my opinion. So I think it's a gift for this team actually to go on the road and play. I think they can make a deep run. These dudes show some guts. I'm not happy we lost, but no, I think they showed a lot.
All right, and if you guys are asking what James or wonder what James referenced as far as Matt Breida, it was the sack by Devin White when he came through the A gap, and it was a play and pass, and Breida kind of blocked him a little bit. He tried to get in his way, but he ain't stopped nothing, man. And he came right through. Mook, what's up, man? You were down there in Tampa this week. You got to see the game firsthand. You was down there with a guy, George Gerard, man, and Pat Mighty Oba Freeman running around Tampa. Two legends, two goats there, and we almost beat the goat in the field. Almost.
Just ain't gonna get it, and it's just bad. It's clear cut bad. James, I get it. They show guts, but guess what? These guys are paid professionals. They should have shown their guts during a coin toss for 4 quarters. You don't play the game for 2 quarters. You play the game for 4 quarters. I don't know what this little soft-ass football they've been playing the past couple of weeks, this passive-aggressive-ass football. You know what? They've been doing that for years. They haven't been an aggressive team. The last time they was aggressive against Seattle, and when A.J. Klein was the so-called Russell Wilson stopper. We have not blitzed since then. That should have told you back then that, we should be able to play aggressive when need be. And I don't understand why you play so ultra aggressive in the second half and things change for you where you couldn't do that in the beginning of the game. We all know that the defensive front isn't good. All right. Whatever the case may be, whether it's Starler Tulare out or, we still got 2 guys that's on the edge that's on the wrong side of 30. Jerry Hughes have 1.5 sacks for $11 million.
Yeah. That's bad.
We have it's bad. You're ranked dead last. If we keep talking about numbers and all that, and I don't know if they're looking at the numbers when the numbers they want to look at. All right, but at the end of the day, that number is a glaring eyesore. You cannot stop a team if you can't stop the run and you can't get pressure on the quarterback. I don't know how the hell the Bills are still number 1 ranked defense in the NFL when they play these quality teams. And those numbers don't tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, at the end of the day, they better blitz. You have no Tre'Davious White. So, I think that Dane Jackson and Levi Wallace played well when playing locked up, when they was locked up. Tampa Bay forced the Bills to do something that they normally don't do. They made them fight. You know what I mean? How not having to fight when the game starts? You know what I mean? Everybody want to talk about, I love the way our team fought. They battled. Okay, what's going to be the excuse this week when Carolina come in here? All right, and they got one of the top defenses around here. What's going to happen when they come in here? We so naive right now, and it's just like Jerry Sullivan said, it's embarrassing. How are you supposed to be a Super Bowl contending team and you want to compete for 2 quarters instead of 4 quarters? Why are we not running the football? Devin Singletary had 4 carries for 53 yards. So that's equal a carry a quarter.
13 yards.
Right.
Carry here.
13 yards a carry. Now, I had to ask Josh at the end of the game because when teams know that. You see the numbers I just spit off to you right now. We're talking analytics, right? Because analytics just took the game over. So what you think the defense is? It makes the defense job hella more a lot easier when they know that during RPO, Josh Allen keeps the ball 95% of the time, and the running backs get it 1%. So what do you think they're going to run to? They're going to run to Josh Allen in that situation. We was joking in the press box. Josh Reed from Channel 4 was like, "Oh, that was a trick play." When they finally gave it to Devin Singletary, he just ran 50 yards down the sideline untouched. Yeah, because everybody's suspecting Josh to keep it. Because Josh always keeps the football. He never gives it to the running back. And on that drive coming out of halftime, they ran the ball to Devin Singletary so much that when Josh did keep it, he was wide open and walked in. But then we get in the red zone. We want to talk about physical. We don't run the ball inside the red zone at all. I had to ask Coach Dable that again. You only ran the ball inside the red zone. You only scored a rushing touchdown by a running back since week 10 against the Jets. Okay, and before that, it was week 4. So it's a huge ass gap. So what's going on in the red zone? We're not running the ball. We're playing finesse football inside the red zone. And, you know, I guess everybody think that's okay. I mean, coming from the school where I'm from, and James coming from the school where you from, I wish Al Scott, I wish I would. Boy, I wish Al Scott would go on the spread or 5 wide inside the 10. Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying? And then we're not isolating Stephon Diggs enough. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, Green Bay find ways every week to get Devontae Adams the ball. And you can't stop it. They isolating one-on-one in situation. You can't stop it. Kyler Murray goes to DeAndre Hopkins when there's 3 guys on him. Why are we not going to our money players if we're not running the ball? Specifically, what the hell are we doing? It's making teams so easy because the play calling is vanilla and it's very predictable. Man, I don't care who the hell we play. If they don't start off aggressive, if they don't play the same way they ended this game the rest of the season, they will not make the playoffs. I don't care who the hell they playing. Their defense is basically quarter coverage, zone quarters. All right, so that means it relies on the front 4 to generate the heat, to cause the pressure. That hasn't happened all year. Prime example. Micah Parsons, who was basically a linebacker, and due to the injuries they had up front, they put his ass down on the edge. He has 14 sacks, over 100 tackles, and 22 tackles for a loss as a rookie. What are we doing?
We rotate.
If they can, what are we doing? Like, we're not getting that. How come a rookie could come in and have more sacks than Jerry Hughes and Mario Anderson combined the past 2-3 years?
But I want to go back to this Jerry Hughes thing, because this is something where anybody who's watched anything that I've said over the last 2 years, remember, I've been saying move on from Jerry Hughes 2 years ago. I was not very happy with the last extension we gave Jerry Hughes, because I felt like since we lost Marcel Darius, and I'm not gonna say Kyle Williams, because I know a lot of Bills fans want to give the credit to that D line of Kyle Williams being the aggressor of that defense line. Was Marcel Darius. Marcel Darius was the key point of that cold front D line. Yes, it's cold front. Thank you for I am plugging that. Marcel Darius was the key call. And since Marcel Darius has not been here, Jerry Hughes hasn't had over, I think, 6 sacks in the season. And if you want to go back to that long Brady run, you know who ran around the edge and left that gap wide open for Brady run for 20 yards? Jerry Hughes. Jerry Hughes. It's always been Jerry Hughes. And it continues to happen. And like you said, Mook, yeah, we have 2 defensive linemen that are on the worst side of 30, playing meaningful downs. It makes me sick to my stomach when we get to the 4th quarter of a game like that, and Mario Addison is on one side and Jerry Hughes on the other. Because A, I know we ain't about to get no pressure, and B, if they run the ball, God help us. It's over. That's 6 yards of chunk right there. Every time.
They're light in that ass. They're too light. When you're going up against a left tackle and a right tackle that's 6'5", 300 pounds plus, they have no wins in that situation. They're undersized, you know, and they're undersized, and they're not getting to the quarterback in pass rushing situations and run situations. They're not winning a battle at all. They're just getting pushed around. They're too light. That's quite evident. Leonard Fournette can run 60, 70 yards untouched off a sweep. You know, like that, you know, it's just other teams see it. And that's the issue with Marcel. Marcel was the guy who demanded the double team, and he still had 10 plus sacks. All right. And he made Kyle Williams' job better. His job was kind of like how Starla Toure is to Ed Oliver. All right. If Marcel, just like how Marcel took it on the double team and made everybody else play was one-on-one. Kyle Williams was one-on-one. Kyle Williams was probably the best bull rusher in that era at that time, and he has a motor. Jerry Hughes, young stud coming off the edge. He's going to win those battles, and then obviously Super Mario on the other side of that. So it was pick your poison time. We hasn't had that since I guess the curse of Rex Ryan. You know what I mean? But hey, I wouldn't mind bringing the big fella back. I mean, he's only what 30 years old. I'm quite sure he still got some gas left in that tank, but it's bad up front with the Bills right now. On both sides.
Marcel chilling, man. Marcel chilling, man. He going on boats and chilling, man. He ain't stuck these folks here in Buffalo and ran him out of town. What you got, James?
Yeah, I mean, I've been Jerry Hughes been one of my favorite Bills players for a while, but it's not looking good, man. I got to keep it all the way real. It's looking bad, man. I mean, you're not paid $10+ million for 1.5 sacks. Well, you can go literally get an undrafted free agent who's probably not ready to play, and you play him as many snaps as Jerry Hughes, he'll probably give you 2 sacks. It's unacceptable. Then undisciplined play at times. I mean, I love his effort, but the 28-year-old Jerry Hughes would be a little bit different. We talking 33-year-old Jerry Hughes now, and it's just not the same, man. It's looking bad for my man. We know this is gonna be his last year in Buffalo, but his snaps should be cut down some. I think he'd be probably more productive with less snaps. AJ should be getting those snaps, or obviously Greg Rousseau.
I think Boogie Basham should be getting those snaps. If we want to be honest about who should be getting these snaps, I mean, are we gonna wait? Are we gonna continue to waste reps like we did with AJ Epinesa to Boogie Basham now? I don't know if they're trying to do the same thing with Boogie as they did with Epinesa last year, cutting weight and changing body type or whatever you're doing. But I can tell you to your point, James, where you said you could bring an undrafted free agent that he could probably get 2 sacks. Well, Eli Anku got 1 sack. So there you go. Guy fresh off the practice squad. F.A. Bada, I think, may have 2 sacks. Guy who ain't been active every week. Like I said, man, this Jerry Hills thing is done, man. It's over. It should have been done last year. We should have traded him at the deadline last year, or even the deadline this year. We had teams calling us at the deadline this year. We should have traded for whatever we could got.
You know what I'm thinking, and Muki, you probably can agree with this. With this regime and this staff, they probably want the veteran presence in that locker room. That's why him and Mario Addison is there. Because outside of those two, if you remove those two from that room, they're babies. They're young. So I'm guaranteeing you that's what they're there for. Muki, how you feel about that?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, that veteran leadership in the locker room, but man, that's not getting the job done on the field,
Nah.
I mean, now on the flip side of that, the Bills are amongst the best in pressure, but they're not getting to the quarterback. It's a difference. You know what I mean? It's a difference. They're top 3 in pressure. They're not getting to the quarterback. And I asked Coach Frazier before the game, like, here it is, Brady, who's not a mobile guy. He sits in the pocket, and you don't have no Tre'Davious White. Are you going to dial it up, this week? And we'll see. But I mean, it took you a whole half to realize to do that. Like, I just don't understand this passive aggressive style of football. You know what I mean? And the Bills want to talk about it boils down to execution. Okay, we're going to keep trying to beat a dead horse. If you can't execute it, then you got to bring some players in that can't execute this shit.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not going to wait for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and say we got to do a better job at execute. You know what I mean? Even like, I'll put it to you like this. If Tremaine Edmonds makes that tackle on 3rd and inches, they're punting the football. It don't even come down to being matched up on a rub route with Brashard Perriman. If Tremaine Edmonds tackles Leonard Fournette in the backfield on 3rd and inches, it's going to be 3rd and a yard and a half. Deep in their territory, they're going to punt the ball there. But Tremaine did not make that tackle. Leonard Fournette won that battle, kept the sticks moving, And the next possession, we all know what happened. You know what I mean? So it's like things like that. They gotta be when he's dialing it up. You know, I give him credit, but I give him credit for making an adjustment. But other than that, I can't give you credit for putting out your own fire. You know what I'm saying? You don't get credit for that. You know what I'm saying? I can't let that. I can't let that rock when y'all knew this already, and then for you not to run the ball at all in the first half because of what? I mean, they want to use the analytics for when they want to use them for. I mean, oh yeah, he went to say why he did that. Oh, because they only give up 80 yards and blah 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 blah. Okay, well, Josh Allen had 100 yards and Singletary had 50 yards on a total not even under 20 carries. So what are you talking about? You're supposed to do more with what you were doing. Like the play call is very vanilla on both sides. That has to change. If they're not going to play aggressive football, I mean, look, just put it to you like this. The Jacksonville Jaguars said what? The Bills are soft. And then it wasn't lying. Because the play calling is soft. The scheme is soft. We can't nickname this no more. And if Jacksonville recognized that, what you think everybody else in the league recognized? It just said that it just basically Tampa Bay had more firepower to put up points against a soft vanilla ass defense. And that's what's going to happen when the Bills face teams that has a run game with a solid defense. Now, if Chuba Hubbard gets off on the Bills in the run game, okay, we're going to be in a dogfight again this week. We play New England for the division the week after that. And, they're going to do probably the opposite or, they're going to mix it up as well. It's no game. I mean, numbers-wise, yes, the Bills has the easiest schedule out of the four. And if they lose, technically they're supposed to win the next 3 out of 4. If they lose 2-2, 1-3, somebody has to go. I don't want to hear about offensive line or defensive line coach or running back coach going. That's not going to change nothing. Something got to give. I mean, Leslie Frazier, he's going to be gone as a head coach. I think that he's going to be going to Chicago.
I agree. I think Leslie gone.
And I hope that he don't take Ken Dorsey with him.
That's the worry, they taking Ken Dorsey's OC.
Yeah, I think Leslie Frazier gone.
If he takes
I think he's
Ken
gonna be
Dorsey,
one of the first hires. Actually, I think he's gonna be one because if you look at his track record since he's been here and what he's doing with that defense, I see people commenting that the defense was getting shredded, and I mean, if you take away that one big run in the run game, their run game was average. If I was now, their defense got shredded in the run game by ours. Like you said, Muki, we had under 20 carries for over 150 yards. That's no good. But Leslie Frazier, I think he's gonna be gone. I think honestly, I think Dable's gonna end up. I don't think he's gonna get a job, but I'm scared to get out that Leslie Frazier is going to take Ken Dorsey. Ken Dorsey needs to be our OC. They need to relieve Brian Dable of his duties at the end of the season. You got to go, Ken Dorsey, man, with that offensive mind. He's thought highly of, and Muki can speak on this. He's thought highly of throughout the NFL. Ken Dorsey, if he don't get the Bills OC job this year, he's going to be offensive coordinator somewhere. And then Bills fans are going to be complaining and bitching about, he should blah, 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 blah. I'm telling y'all now, Ken Dorsey is our guy. They need to make that happen.
Well, I think that the one saving grace, and hopefully it's a saving grace, because I said yesterday or Sunday that I think no matter what, Dable is not in Buffalo next year. I think this has run its course. It's been a good run. It's been the best run of his career. It's been okay for Buffalo in the development of Josh Allen, but it's run its course. I don't see it getting any better. And personally, as I said a couple weeks ago, I believe that he's kind of checked out now. He wants a head coaching job. He thought he was going to get the promotion once. He didn't get it. He thought he was going to get the promotion twice. He didn't get it. Now I think he's just kind of getting complacent because he wants to be a head coach.
And Chad Hall, not to interrupt, JT, our wide receiver coach, he get a lot of love too. Chad Hall, watch out for that name too.
No, he does. But that's what I'm thinking about Dable, is the fact that if he doesn't get a head coaching job, I don't think there's going to be anything that can light that fire back in Buffalo this year. I think that simple fact that it'd take him going to another team like the Giants, like that, to try to ignite that fire or ignite that light that spark. It won't be Buffalo. But yeah, Ken Dorsey. If Ken Dorsey is smart, and this is nothing against him and nothing against Leslie Frazier, if Leslie Frazier gets that Bears job, but I'm hitching my wagon to Josh Allen for my next promotion faster than I'm hitching my wagon to Ryan Pace, the Chicago Bears organization, and Justin Fields. Nothing against Justin Fields. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. He's going to be dynamic. But Josh Allen, like I think I said one time before, franchise quarterbacks who are young as Josh Allen, when they become franchise quarterbacks, usually get 3 OCs a head coaching job before the end of their career. So we'll see what happens. But I want to move on and change gears a little bit. And I want to talk about our guy Josh Allen and the performance he had. Now there's a lot of hate coming this way from a lot of people. There's a lot of people that say, hey, it wasn't. A lot of people weren't hating him, but end of the day, he did what he had to do. He had over 400 yards total offense himself alone, but he did walk in a walking boot. Muki, I'm going to talk to you about that. What do we think about the performance? James, I come to you first, then we get the move. I mean, Josh Allen, gritty.
I love his performance. He showed heart, he showed courage, and he just made plays. He had the one bad interception, yes, but that dude was balling. He was balling all game. He actually had a bigger day if they would have we get some of them calls to go the way they were supposed to. That dude would have had over 400 yards passing. Let's be real. Them couple holding calls of Stephon Diggs would have been completed. We talking a 400-yard passing day. I think the best way to describe him is being a baller. Muki, we cut from the same cloth with this football thing. You don't call guys like that a quarterback, a running back, a receiver. Stephon Diggs isn't a receiver. He's a baller. Stephon Diggs is a baller. That means they make plays, period. You don't give him a position. He's just a baller. And that's what Diggs is, and that's what Josh Allen is. Anybody that doubts him now, I mean, that's just hate. That's personal at that point. If you got any type of football mind and you watch him play the game of football and you doubt that he's a franchise quarterback or he's a good football player, I can't respect your football opinion, man. That's just craziness.
Mook, the man left in the walking boot, and tell me what you thought about his performance.
He balled out. Under the circumstances, down that last possession, I was like, man, they just need to do a cue. Now is the time to do the quarterback draw. If you were going to do a quarterback draw, right now is the time to do it, and he never did it. You know what I mean? And he don't set nothing up. He don't know how to set anything up. You see how easy it was for Tampa Bay to catch us like that? We have not executed a play to the point where a guy is so wide open, it's like that. You know what I mean? When you look at Dable's just ranking as an OC, going all the way back from Cleveland, ranked 30th. He was 24 to 1 year. Even with the Bills, we were still top 20, 23, 22. And then last year, the COVID year, and then, we're so high powered. But this year is back to where he normally be. We keep looking at these numbers. The numbers don't lie. This is Dable. You know what I mean? Last year was his best year. You know what I mean? But I guess when everybody else, when you looked at the interview process, they went and saw those numbers too and said, hell no. You know what I mean? Because now this is what he's resorting back to. That same 23rd, 30th, 24th, 22nd. That's where the Bills' offense is probably right now, somewhere in the 20s, 25. You know what I mean? Offensively, with these weapons we have. And there's no excuse for this offense to be that way. When we got a quarterback that's an MVP candidate and we're ranked top 20 in the NFL in offense, that doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? We're so he's in so denial about being one-dimensional. It's embarrassing to this point because teams know what you're doing, and it's bad, man. We're so damn predictable, and you figure like, damn, how the hell we're just in dog fights with crappy teams? That's why. You know what I mean? That's why, because it doesn't change. This is who the Bills are. First play of the game, they're going to swing Devin Singletary out for a swing pass, and he gets 1 yard every single time. Oh, and then we're going to try to hit Diggs or now Josh either keeps it during an RPO. He gets a couple of yards. Third down, they're going to play cover 2 shell, get the Bills right off the field. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, it's bad. I don't understand. We don't stick to what works. What happened to the sweep, James? We ain't been running the sweep. We run the sweep, we're effective. We don't run that. We don't run that every week. We run the quarterback with sweeps. The quarterback has more play design, has better play design than the damn running backs do. That's an issue. That is a clear-cut issue, man. And going into December, this is what we going. Now he's hurt. So are we going to continue to run Josh Allen? I asked him, was he going to be more downhill, more aggressive style football? Because that's what really Coach McDermott wants. And I know Coach McDermott has taken a lot of flack, but keep in mind, all right, just keep in mind, this is Coach McDermott's first crack at being the head coach. All right, it's not like he was a head coach somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Everything is still an experience for him. And right now, the experience is he's letting his coaches coach. He's not really stepping on anybody's toes. At first, it was like, okay, yeah, he's on Leslie Frazier's toes because obviously he's a defensive guy. So when it comes to offense, he's not really intervening to anything that Dable's doing. Now, halftime, I'm quite sure he probably said, yo, man, we need to run this damn football. Run the damn football. I don't care. Run it. And that's what happened. And, you know, he was quite pleased about that. But why not do that in the beginning of the game? Why are we still trying to make Josh Allen the hero when we don't have to do that at this point? You know, he has his bag. He has all the accolades and notoriety as one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL right now. Why are we trying to overdo it with, you know, with trying to have him just run the ball and pass? This is not college, man. Teams are going to scheme for that. And then, I mean, he's just hurt right now. So we'll find out more tomorrow when Wednesday come and, you know, they're practicing. And I'm quite sure Josh won't practice tomorrow. Scope going to be on that. And if Mitch is the quarterback, then we're going to see. I mean, we're going to see. This game right here is a must-win game for the Bills. They cannot lose to Carolina at home when you got New England coming up. Right. If they lose to Carolina, if this game is even close, they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't care who they are. They could lose to Atlanta, and the Jets ain't coming here just to bend over backwards for them week 1. They're going to have a whole hell of a lot to play for the last game of the season because they know they ain't got no reason not to. They're supposed to lose anyway. So they're going to come and try to play spoiler. They're going to play hard. It's the last game for the coach. So the Bills technically has an easy schedule, but to me, they don't have an easy schedule.
And that leads me right into the our next conversation, Trubisky. And we're not going to spend much time on this, but if Mitch Trubisky has to play this game versus Carolina, I'm ask the viewers to participate in this one too. I just want a percentage of how confident we are that Mr. Trubisky can go in there and win this game as a starting quarterback. Mook, I'll come to you first, and James, I'm gonna let you follow up. How you follow up?
I mean, the confidence is there. I mean, we're gonna have to be more run oriented and then use run action and use Trubisky to do bootlegs and roll out. We brought him in for that reason, so he doesn't change your playbook too much. You know what I mean? When Josh is not around. With Matt Barkley, the Bills had to change the playbook because they're two different types of quarterbacks. But Trubisky pretty much keep your scheme, the scheme more per se. But I do think we need to run the ball. The run sets up everything. It sets up everything. You have to run the football in order to win a Super Bowl. You're gonna have to run. I don't know a team that passes their way to a Super Bowl without running the football. Kansas City had to run the football to win that. Okay, now he made a miraculous play, hitting Sammy Watkins, and then Darrell Williams handled the rest. But you got to be able to run the football. As long as they're playing aggressive, they have a chance to be one of the best teams in the league. But if they're playing soft, passive aggressive, relying on their front four to get pressure like usual, they're going to lose. And if they want to still figure that out, it's still going to take them a quarter or 2 quarters to figure that out again against Carolina, then somebody needs to be removed off this coaching staff because they're not getting it, and the players that you have in your scheme is not working. So the confidence is there, but they got to be aggressive.
But what's your percentage? That you give me a percentage that you think that the Bills win this game if Mr. Trubisky's starting quarterback?
85%.
85%. James, I'm coming to you. Mitch Trubisky, this is a guy that we're high on. Obviously, as you said in the chat multiple times, this is why he's the top backup in the league. This is what you brought him in here for. A guy with the 29 and 21 record in actually 2 playoff games, the starter.
Yeah, I got a lot of I think he'll come out and ball out. If I'm the Bills, I don't even think about playing Josh this week. With the big New England game coming up next week, why? I mean, you're paying Mitch Trubisky to come into situations like this. Let him rock. Sit Josh, rest that foot. We trying to make a run. If we trying to make a run, sit that man. And I think it's about a 90, 85. I agree with Muki, about 85, 90% chance. That he, my confidence level in him is he has about 85 to 90% chance to win this game. I think he's gonna actually come and ball out, because don't forget, this dude is playing for his career. He's playing for a starting job next year. If he comes on and throw for 300 plus, lead the Bills to victory, he's gonna get paid.
He really, when you think about it, this is Mr. Trubisky in college all over. He really only had one solid year in college football. And NFL right now, to get his starting job again, he needs one solid performance. I'm gonna say that I'm 95% confident he wins this game. And honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think with him coming in, it's gonna force Brian Dable to not force somebody in the hero ball and to force him into finding balance. Because I think he relies on Josh so much, and he has so much confidence in Josh to lead this offense that all he knows is Josh. Maybe this, like I said, maybe this will get the playbook out of crayon. Maybe he'll put the Crayolas down and get the whiteboard out. I don't know. But I'm thinking that this may make him do it if that's the case. And I'm with you guys. I'm probably sitting Josh for this game. And I mean, it's going to kill Josh. But I'm sitting for this game. And I'm not going to fully sit him. I'm going to put him as an emergency number 2. Emergency, meaning if we lose in this game in the second half, spraying foot of Nacho has got to get in there and go play because our season on the line. But yeah, I just want to talk to you guys about that. But before we get to I gotta have my Matt Milano apology, and I do want to talk about those refs no calls and how egregious they were in the reffing this season. It is also time for you guys know what that segment is. One of our favorite segments, this week's bad takes. Now, we did not do this last week because we was all so mad about that loss that we didn't have time for bad takes last week. We just had the breakdown. We had this breakdown the Bills last week. That was all it was about. So this week we are back with bad takes. So let's get going. And I got four tonight. 4. And one's really, really, really good. So we'll start off now. Take number 1 of the night. Fire McDermott and Allen. Bring back Rex Ryan and Tyrod.
Oh,
man.
Whoa.
Somebody wants Sexy Rexy back with the feet. And Tyrod back, man. So bad take number 2 of the week.
Where you be finding this stuff at?
It don't, after a loss, I can tell you, it don't be too hard to find. It'd be right on the pages. Bad take number 2. That seals the deal. I am no longer a Bills fan. This team is a pure and utter embarrassment to Buffalo and the worst of Jerry Sullivan. I officially will not be renewing my plan next season, nor will I watch the TV on ever again. I'm taking my fandom to the Buccaneers, where they know how to win championship. Well, buddy, that's gonna be short-lived because you probably ain't got about a couple more months with Tom Brady there.
Can't beat him, join him, my guy.
Can't beat him, join him. That take number 3. Sean McDermott is a conservative bleep. 4th and 3, and you punt when you're down 24-10 late. This guy is overrated to say the least. Well, he was down 24-10. He came back and actually scored, tied the game 24-24.
It worked.
It worked. So this was maybe a little too early of a take. And we are getting ready for our last take. So you know what that means. James is back with the drum roll, please. Final take and the best take of the night. I say the best for last. Bad take number 4, week 12. When I become an alcoholic at the end of the season, I'm going to sue your organization. And when I show the judge these games, they are going to not going to side with you. I am never.
That was a good one.
That was classic right there.
I have never seen I have never seen someone say they were going to organization making somebody alcoholic, and then they're going to sue the organization and going to win. I mean, damn, man. I'm crying over here, man. I'm crying. Oh, I'm gonna sue the organization. They're gonna sue the organization for being alcoholic. I mean, damn. I mean, if you've been a season ticket holder and those 20 years of putrid play didn't make you alcoholic, how the hell are we gonna be alcoholic now? Come on, man. Stop turning that water into wine, man. It's too funny.
Man.
Oh,
that's
too funny.
Classic right there.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna have to clip that out and put that out. But I want to move on to I want to just issue a quick apology to Matt Milano. You guys know I'm very big on apologizing if I am wrong. And I have been highly critical. I did not want this guy resigned. I said, don't spend the money. But I got to say, Matt Milano is proven to be worth every penny. I'm eating my words. I'll stick my foot in the mouth. I'll take it. It's fine. I got no problem. Matt Milano, I apologize. James, would you like to say something, Matt?
I was real tough on him. I ain't gonna say I wasn't tough on him as you.
Not as me, no.
I wasn't tough on him as you. But I did say it wouldn't hurt us to let him walk. Boy, was I wrong. That dude is playing lights out. I'm so happy that we re-signed that man. Man, Matt Milano, to Matt Milano fans, his family, and to him personally, man, I was wrong, man. I apologize, dude. You a baller, man. And I'm glad you here in Buffalo, dude, because you can play some football, man. And the price we got him for right now is looking like a complete steal. Imagine if he was to hit the open market now, what he would get. That dude, we stole him.
Yeah. Now, Muki, I remember you calling Mr. Matt the ankle biter. That was the words. He tacked a little bit better up higher now. He was right though. He was an ankle biter. It wasn't a lie.
He's an ankle biter too. He got that bag. See, when you get that bag, some people they elevate their game when they get that bag. Some people they go on a decline and feel they ain't gotta work hard anymore. But Money Matt has been balling. You know what I mean? So, hey, I mean they're playing him aggressive. This is football. Your defense is supposed to be aggressive. We're not playing aggressive. I don't know what's going on with Tremaine Edmonds. You're not playing him aggressive. He's 6'6", 250. Why are we not moving him around and have him come off the edge sometime off some twist stunts or something? Like he's having trouble reading. Like, it's just we're not using him right. You know what I mean? To go along with Matt Milano. Like, that's why I say we need to get another linebacker in this draft too. We're playing around. There's some pieces that the Bills desperately need to get to fix this thing. Free agency ain't gonna be the answer. They're gonna have to. I mean, it don't help when you got 2 second-round. You got 3 second-round picks and your 3rd round pick is inactive. Cody Ford, AJ Espinoza, Boogie Basham, and Zach Moss. Inactive.
It's not good. No.
You know what I mean? That's not good. That's not good. But in certain situations, it's a money thing. I get that. They need to figure out why Zach Moss is inactive. We need him inside the red zone. Feed him the damn football. Run behind Spencer Brown. Yeah, I don't care if you got to put him and Deion on the same damn side. Do it. Yeah. But we got to figure it out because they're not bringing nobody in. And if you're not bringing nobody in and you believe that this is it, that this is really it, and obviously it's not, like, what are you going to do? Are we going to keep just doing the same thing and talk about we're not executing? The team is just not good to execute the plays. Like, when are we going to realize that? And we're going to keep beating this dead horse until we're out of the playoffs. Like, good teams fix it. Why not go get Le'Veon Bell? I'm still understanding why he's out there and we're not even thinking about pulling the trigger at this point.
Same thing James is saying. James has been screaming for Le'Veon Bell as well.
We can put him on the practice squad and call him up once or twice. I mean, you don't have to sign him to the active roster. You can sign him to the practice squad, and you can call him up. He don't even have to take an active roster spot.
Right. And actually, Eric Humphrey, I know you asked a question. I am going to get to your question before the show's over. I did see it up top about smoke. I will make sure we get to that. I will not forget you. But yeah, I want to take some time on to issue apology to Matt Milano. Matt Milano has 71 tackles this season, 5 QB hits, 2 sacks, and 2 fumble recoveries, man. I mean, so you know, the guy came up big with his contract, and you know what? Claps to you, Matt Milano, and shame on me.
You got another one coming too, JT.
Oh,
Taron Johnson.
I already apologized to Taron. I'm not apologizing again now. I didn't did it once now, damn it. All right.
I know that.
I already apologized once to Taron now. All right. I apologize. But I want to talk about real quick before we get out of here about just the NFL calls from this game. And these calls were egregious. And normally, like I said, I am not a guy to blame games on refs. I'm the same guy who be in the chat was like, don't leave it in the refs' hands. But this was mighty bad, we must say. From the Levi Wallace pass interference to the at least give Stephon Diggs a holding in the end zone. I don't know if you give him a pass interference to put the ball on the one in the game like that, but at least a holding. At least the holding on the one when his shirt got ripped off. James, NFL refs, how bad was this, man?
It was embarrassing, to be honest with you. That's their profession. It's embarrassing. It's unacceptable by the NFL. The NFL need to hold their refs accountable. You said you don't know about that call on the 1 yard line. You call a game. Period. If it is what it is. If that's what it is, you throw the flag and you call it. I don't understand how you don't call nothing in that situation. I think it's ridiculous. And something needs to be done because you shouldn't even notice the refs on the field. The last 3 or 4 seasons, you're noticing the refs on the field because they're impacting the games so much. And that's a problem. If you're noticing the refs, that's a problem. You know, they're impacting the game so much with just bad, just blown calls. I mean, go back to even the Saints game. You can have a wino reffing a youth football game, and he wouldn't miss that call. Them dudes missed that call. So I can't really be surprised he missed that call. It's a situation where, you know, the NFL got to stop. They got to start holding them accountable. Now, if a player say something about them, they'll get fined. But these guys aren't fined or disciplined for making these just terrible calls. It made me sick to my stomach. And not just because I'm a Bills fan, as a football fan. It made me sick to my stomach, even as a player. It pisses you off when you're out there busting your behind and these dudes can't do their job and make the call and get it correct. If somebody's doing something they're not supposed to be doing, they're breaking a rule, you throw a penalty flag. They're not throwing a penalty flag. When it's impacting the game like that, it's a major problem. NFL, you don't know this, man. You got to hold these dudes accountable.
And you know what? And before we move on to Muki, you know, just think about that call from the Rams Saints playoff game a couple years ago where they missed the pass interference on our guy Nikhil Roby. That was the Saints game to go to the Super Bowl.
Literally, that was the NFC Championship.
And they sent an apology. They made a public apology. But what the hell does apology do after for Drew Brees, who never got back there? Who knows if Sean
more upset?
They want to see Drew Brees there. They wanted to see the Rams there.
Right. You think it's influenced?
Yeah, the referees dictate the game, bro. Make no mistake about it. The referees dictate the game, obviously. And my thing is, I mean, those were some horrible ass calls, like blatant horrible ass calls. I think in that instance, they should adopt what the NBA does and, you know, challenge the referee not making that call and making them go back and look at that call and throw that damn flag once they review, like, yeah, he was holding there. You know what I mean? Maybe they didn't get an opportunity to say, you know, they say, oh, I missed that call, or how they always go, oh, that wasn't my call. But when you review that specific play, obviously there's a penalty there. That should be called. So they need to figure out how can they adopt similar way of how the NBA does that, because that definitely affected the ball game. And I don't care. Holding is holding. Put the ball half the distance to the goal, first down. I don't care. Make the call. I mean, they made it. They made sure they made that on the flip side when it was the Buccaneers' turn. You know, is it home cooking? You know, that's what I'm saying. The referees dictate the game, and they know clearly what's going on. So this is the way you make them accountable. It should be a different sort of way a coach could challenge a referee's call in that regard, or a missed call in that regard. You know what I mean? So I'm quite sure the rules committee or whatever, they're going to have something to say about that come springtime, because right there, like you see, he clearly looking back. He clearly is making a play on the ball, and he's got penalized for it. It was just bad calls on national TV. So that would be my only solution, is to try to emulate what the NBA does when referees miss calls. They can challenge, and they can go and take a look and say, oh, I did miss that. My bad. Like, Jay, how you was just accountable on Matt Milano.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good way to make the referees accountable too.
Well, you know, our friend Rhiannon, she says, she said we should get rid of all the refs, all the calls come from upstairs, but she also says, I think the refs should get fined for calling bad calls and not calling at all. Like players get fined for taunting.
They do, but you don't see it publicly. Like when it's playoff time, they don't ref the playoffs. They don't ref Super Bowls. You know, they get scored upon that. You know what I mean? But you don't really see it because it's not put out as public information. You know, so yeah, it still sucks. You know, at the end of the day, if they make a bad call, then nothing goes back to change it. But I think, you know, this will be a way to change that. Like, you missed that call. Hey, go back to the damn review and look at that call you missed. He clearly was holding the guy. How did you miss that? You know, and it should be a way where they should be able to go and review that. A coach should be able to review that missed call and make it a penalty. That's the only way it's going to make it right. You know what I mean? If they got to allow the coaches some way where they can, you know, give them an extra challenge flag or whatever to use in that situation. You know, so I'm quite sure that's going to be the next topic of discussion, especially coming from the Bills.
Right. You know, I thought that the calls were, like I said, they definitely directly affected the outcome of the game. If you call that penalty for Stephon Diggs, and like I said, even if you don't give him the pass interference at the 1 yard line, just another set of downs with that time left, I don't know if Tampa Bay beats. I think Buffalo scores at that point, because I think at that point it would have been about 30 seconds left, something around there.
Yeah,
they'll have three more shots to the end zone within 4 yards in 30 seconds. I mean, I know Tom Brady.
What was the over there? The Bills was what? The Bills was the spread was what? Bills -3 or whatever.
Yep.
Bills -3. So there it is. So that way, what was the score at that point in time? It was 27-24, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's your 3 points. Russ wasn't trying to let that happen.
Eric Humphrey says, starting to think the refs are point shaving.
They are. Yeah, I read that. Yeah, they are. I'm telling you, man, they out there betting too. Man, you mean to tell me I got a chance to dictate my bet? I put $1 million on. I took Tampa Bay -3. Yeah, you ain't gonna know that he bet it. The gambling is big time now. Anybody can do it.
Right.
Yeah, man, there's some shaming going on. They dictate this game. They dictate peak game, and they dictate the game. They dictate the game. You know,
it's crazy, man.
You gotta believe they dictate the game.
It's crazy. But I mean, like I said, I wanted to touch on that just quickly. And I thought the calls were awful. But like I said, up to the Bills to not put themselves in that situation moving forward. Because like I said, we didn't get the love. I thought Levi Wallace outside that car had one hell of a football game. And I think he's elevated. And I think he's gonna elevate his game as Trey White is out. But the ref screwed him. I mean, that's all the way to put it. We got the screwball job. But once again, if you're not down 21 points and you have to fight back like that, then you're not putting yourself in that situation. Hopefully, the NFL does something to make this better, because, like I said, this year alone has been some really bad calls across the league. You know, like James said, not just Bills fans, as football fans in general. You don't want to see that happening. You don't want to see that type of dictation here. But I'm
gonna ask a coach about that. Like, what do you think about the NFL emulating what the NBA does and making officials go back to change calls or make calls that they missed? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna figure out how I can fricassee it up the coach. Now, I know he don't like to be talking about the Zebras all the time, but it's not a bad question about the Zebras. It's not about bad calls about how do they be able to correct that situation, because games like that keep you out of the playoffs, keep you out of the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like I was talking about the Rams and the Saints game.
If you remember when they first put instant review back in, I think in the early 2000s, it's because the refs had blew so many calls that season. Now, I am a football historian, I like to think, but I remember one coach in particular, Dennis Erickson, week 17, Jets versus Seahawks. Dennis Erickson needed to win that game for the Seahawks to make the playoffs, and it was the only way he was going to keep his job. Vinny Testaverde, QB sneaked, ball never even came close to crossing the plane. They called it a touchdown. There was no review. Dennis Erickson got fired on Monday. The league put instant replay back into the game. So that's a little history lesson. And I remember it off the top of my head watching it because I like Dennis Erickson. But I know we had a couple questions that we'll get out of here. We'll take 3. We got 2 already ready to go. I know my man Eric Humphrey and Mike Boger, they both asked questions. I know it's very similar. So Eric Humphrey asked question, do y'all think John Brown opened up for everybody last year and teams don't respect us going deep? Now, I know I've been on record for saying that we do need a deep threat to open it up. I was on record, I think, for saying around the trade deadline, I wouldn't mind a trade for a Brandon Cook, someone who could just take the top off of defense, open everything else up. But I'm curious to hear what you gentlemen think. James?
He was hurt so much last year. I don't think that was really the case. He missed a nice portion of last season with injury. So I don't really think that's the case. Would it be nice to have somebody with speed? Yeah. But it's very hard to get your hands on players like that can ball, because they're usually, if you're really fast and you can play a little bit, they're usually overvalued and overpaid. So, I don't really think so.
Mook, speedster.
I want a guy that's 6'3", 6'4" with speed. I'm tired of the little guys. Let Stephon Diggs, Daniel Sanders, Beasley. Give me a big guy with some size and some speed. You know what I mean? That's what's lacking. He ain't even got to be fast. Give me a 6'4", 6'5" guy that's doing the same thing Mike Evans doing out there. Josh Allen is 6'5". It's easier for him to see a bigger target down the field than somebody 6'1". You know what I mean? Like, just give him a big, faster target. All right. I want to say Kumaro or whatever, man. Just find a dynamic of another big dog. We need a big receiver that can stretch the field, not a short guy. I just want to see a bigger target for Josh down the field, 40, 50 yards downfield. You look at the Chargers, you got Keenan Allen. He's probably the shortest. He's the shortest receiver on their roster at 6'2", 6'3". Everybody else is Mike Williams. You know what I mean? Like, we need something like that. You know what I mean? To really stretch the defenses. I mean, I don't know. Emmanuel Sanders is supposed to be that guy. You know what I mean? So, he can get separation better than John Brown. But is he faster? I don't think he's faster than Smoke, but, it don't matter anyway. You know what I mean? We don't have no creative play design to get the guys the ball, whether it's going short or deep. Why not throw the ball deep to Stephon Diggs? Like, he's a 4-4 guy. Wouldn't even throw deep to him. That's why when he did throw the deep, it seemed like they was off page, because guess what? They don't rep it out. They don't do it enough. You know what I mean? They're not doing it. They're not doing it now. I don't know why we're not. We do the deep ball to Stephon Diggs last year. I don't know why we're not doing it this year.
Right.
What are we doing? You know what I'm saying? What are we doing? Josh threw the ball.
In the point, to add to your point about Stephon Diggs and his speed and throwing the ball deep to him, I think if you open the defensive back up a little bit, the way you want him to operate underneath and in the middle of the field, it'll put the defense back on his heels a little bit. So he's not sitting on the curls, the slants, the down and ends, the down and outs, the option routes. You know what I mean? If you take him deep a couple of times, I don't care if you complete it or not.
Put the man in the slot, man. Like, move him in motion. And we can stick him on the outside, and then we don't even look his way when he's manned up. The Tampa was playing single high safety a lot at times, especially on first down. And the man was pressing. They were pressing Stephon Diggs with single safety high. Never looked Stephon Diggs' way. Never looked Stephon Diggs' way. I mean, and that's the difference between the Bradys and the Rodgers and the Mahomes. They are going to they don't care what the play call is. if they recognize their number one guy one-on-one with any corner in the league, they are checking out of that play and they are going to their guy. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? We just, I hit it to the open guy and all that crap. You know what I mean? When are we going to start utilizing our star players and we playing on this damn money too? You know what I mean? I applaud Gabe Davis on that 4th down play, but man, if he don't make a play there, you know, we don't win that game anyway. You know what I mean? And then the play that they do go to Stephon Diggs, what kind of throw was that, Josh? You sidearm the throw. Stephon Diggs ain't ready for the ball. Like, it seemed like they're just not on the same page this year.
That may be the reason. That probably one of the reasons why you didn't get the call, because the way the ball was placed as well. It wasn't very, very catchable. But I mean, Justin Politkoff says Mookie, you got to start asking McDermott and Bean why they continuously allow the team to keep getting there. I'm sorry, jeez, I can't even read right now. Why they continuously allow their team to keep getting screwed by the officials. They need to speak up for the team. Josh is out there giving that his soul. I mean, yeah, I agree. I agree with Justin. They got to take that fine. It's time to take that fine.
Still ain't gonna change nothing.
No,
it's not gonna change anything. I mean, Levi Wallace went on and said it was a bad call. I mean, you know, the coach, I mean, they asked him in the presser about the cost, and you know, he didn't brush it off, but he said they just gotta do a better job. They won't get in that situation. You know what I mean? Turn around and make a play. Levi Wallace, if the ball is coming short, why you don't have the fundamentals to turn around and pick the damn ball up?
Right.
You know what I mean? Same way with Dane Jackson. Why you don't have the intuition to turn around and gotta do a better job, even though I still want PI, but when you don't execute your fundamentals, that's shit gonna happen. You know what I mean? We could talk about the referees all we want. Guys got to make plays. If Tremaine Edmonds make that play on 3rd and inches, Tampa Bay is punting the ball back to us. And then furthermore, we won the toss. What the fuck? Excuse my language. What did we call in that single?
FCC.
We were playing. We wasn't aggressive at all. Like we're playing for the tie. We won the toss and took the ball to do what with it? Like, what was those 3 play calls right there? We didn't run the ball at all right there. And we did that. Lexicazal pay to Stephon Diggs on 3rd down when everybody know that you're going to Stephon Diggs right there. Predictable. You know what I mean? It's just bad play calling. I don't know what we're calling. I don't know what we're setting up. We still have yet to identify our bread and butter. We're so sporadic with this play calling. That's why they're in the bottom of the league in offense. That ain't no accident. That's what it is. You know what I mean? That's what it is. Okay, we caught the NFL lacking with this COVID year in 5 wide. You know what I mean? Now everybody's back. Everybody got book on you, and you're just running sporadic ass plays every week. Every week is something sporadic. We have not seen a play. I have not seen plays that work like the Jets game, the New Orleans game. I don't see those plays on a week to week. You see the better teams, they're doing that every time.
Well, I think maybe a part of that is Brian Daboll's more comfortable calling plays when he's playing bad defenses. I think that has a lot to do with it. Or games he feel he can when he's more comfortable. I think that is what it is. And I think
coordinator.
Never been a successful one. Never been a successful one though. But we got one more question. We got one more question that we gotta get to. Our guy Stephen, I don't want to mess your name up. We call him Stephen F. Do you still think you will see Mongo next week? I personally think Allen feels more calm behind Mongo. James.
We'll see.
I think you'll see him back in, but Botterick ain't really played bad the last 2 games. That's the biggest thing. So
it's hard to tell. Like with you having that soft tissue injury, it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
I mean he was limited this week, so you're going to see probably a little bit more of him. But I'm thinking right now you might not see Josh Allen this week. So
yeah I'm thinking so too. We got 2 more comments here, then we get out of here. Eric Humphrey says he heard a stat today: out of 502 of Josh's passes, only 2 have been called for DB holding all year, and that was both on Xavier Howard. That's a crazy stat. That's a crazy stat. And that may tie into the point where my man said, I forgot who said it up earlier, said that Stephon Diggs needs to learn how to act more, flop, fall on the ground when someone's grabbing you. And our man Pave Dave on YouTube says, start a punishing running game, put Jerry Hughes at running back and pound the other team's back. You know, who did I see? I saw offensive lineman in someone's backfield yesterday. The Cowboys game. They took Connor Williams, the guard, and put him at fullback.
Anything to win. Anything to win. What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, I mean, come on, man. It's coaching going on out here. We're not coaching. We're not coaching good enough.
All right, I mean, well, fellas, any final thoughts? Mook, final thoughts, and what you got anything going on this week?
Final thoughts is Cam coming to town. Y'all better not let Cam run wild on y'all.
Cam coming to town with Phillip Walker. They're gonna be splitting. They're gonna be splitting. Right. That's not easy to prepare for. They're gonna be splitting. James, anything going on with the new man?
Nothing new this week. The Bills better bring it. Point blank period. Bring it. Smack these dudes. Bring it.
That's it, man. Take the momentum. They said they had a momentum, right? Take the momentum, and keep it going. I mean, that what Josh said. He said he felt like they got the momentum back. I want to see it. I want to see this throughout the rest of the season. And I said yesterday Sunday on the postgame show that book it that they was going to win out. I'm sticking by that. Book it. They win out. And it won't be surprised if they still win the AFC East. I think they're going to win out. So other than that, guys, I guess I haven't really did his personal rant in a couple of weeks, but I guess if I had one, it's personal, just business rant would be to Sean McDermott this week, man. I just think that, you know, I'm with Mook when I hear that. I'm tired of the same old sayings. I'm tired of the same old cliche. We got to get better. We got to execute. Listen, I get the whole we're not gonna let anything in, let anything out mantra. Well, it's time to get in somebody's ass. I don't care if that's Bobby Johnson. I don't care if that's Brian Dable. You gotta get somebody's ass. I don't care if you have to make a drastic change and deactivate Jerry Hughes and Mario Addison. You got to do something. You can't just keep sitting letting the sink ship. I almost feel like we're on the Titanic when that band is still playing. Why the sink ship is sinking? We can't do that. Kick somebody off. Let them hit the propeller. Like you gotta make somebody take note. We got to do something, man. Like this, we can't keep falling like this. Like your team fought back last week. Cool, great. But you lose one more game and they be calling for your head in Buffalo. Is it right? Is it justified? Absolutely not. I had people in my DMs all this week talking about he's not the right coach, that Mike Tomlin's a better coach. Mike Tomlin ain't won nothing since 2010. Aren't you at your damn mind? I said, what's the difference between McDermott and Mike Tomlin? What's the difference? Mike Tomlin won big games. Mike Tomlin won big games 10 years ago. And if Andy Reid, for the people who do doubt McDermott, if Andy Reid is your standard, Andy Reid coached in this league about 20 years before he won the Super Bowl. So you can miss me with that too. But I'm just saying, you know, he got to dig in somebody's ass. As simple as that. I want to see something different. I want to see something different from our front office this offseason. I want to see something different in his coaching. I want to see different in our personnel to show, hey, we're trying to make waves. We're trying to make some different. Make these players who are comfortable very uncomfortable. But that's all I got to say, man. I want to thank you guys for joining me tonight. As always, my guys, James Mallory, my guy Muki Hawkins, Bills beat reporter, and we'll hopefully be back next Tuesday at 8 and 6. Hopefully McDermott digs somebody's ass, and we keep it going. You know, we keep going. Just remember, I'm your host, JTM. It's not personal. It's just business. Just Bills. We out of here. Have a good night. Thank you guys for tuning in as always. Lay off the alcohol. Don't make the Bills turn into alcoholics.